genuine interoperability is now a true story. Now, what this means is that developers can, for the first time, write their websites in the same markup language once for all browsers. Safety and reliability, perhaps a little prosaic, but really important. They are a crucial concern, and there are many advances here as well. The internet's not as safe as we'd all want it to be, but today, again, we can make a significant step forward in the right direction. We've invested heavily to make IE9 the most robust and reliable browser. For example, IE9 is private by default, so that user data is not released without your consent. One of the first step changes that IE9 brings is the way it looks and works. Firstly, there's much more focus on the website that you visited within the browser, and less fuss over the browser around it and the controls at the top of the page. More importantly, IE9 is being seamlessly integrated into Windows 7, into your desktop. So you can now pin websites directly to the taskbar at the bottom of the screen on Windows 7. And you can go to these sites just as you would run an application, a single click from the desktop. So the web is moving beyond the browser. Websites are the new apps. So that's really what's changing tonight. IE9, by ushering in the age of the beautiful web, will move the web further towards becoming a genuine entertainment medium. It's going to further enhance the democratization of creative content, expanding the creative horizons of many, many internet users. And importantly, we expect it to unleash the creativity of designers and developers so that they can amaze us with ever more beautiful websites. Now our partners, especially those here tonight, are going to show you exactly what I mean. So this isn't about the browser, it's about the website. Ever more rich and immersive websites. But this distinction is fundamental to our approach. We want the browser to melt away. And we want really them to reveal then sites that are faster, more fluid, more beautiful. Now the involvement of our users and developers is crucial in the IE9 process, just as it was with Windows 7. To achieve these goals, we've been working really closely with our partners, whose work you're seeing behind me. Partners, developers, and our audience. All central to our thinking. This is a guiding principle to all of our work, always. So the result of all this is that today marks a point where we can unlock the creativity and passion of those who make the internet great, the makers of websites. With the introduction of IE9, we've got a new canvas, and we've extended the frontiers of what is possible on the web. IE9 is going to make this possible, but it isn't the start. Tonight we'll get a sneak preview of the real heroes of the story, the new and transformed web. To tell you a little bit more about how this has been achieved, I'd like to introduce Leila Martin. Leila.
Internet Explorer 9 is arguably the most important application that we built for Windows. It should be no surprise that we call it Windows Internet Explorer. And the reason why is we have over 1 billion people around the world that use Windows as a way that they operate their PC. And the single most important thing they do, in fact 59% of the time that they spend, is actually surfing the web. And as actually stated before, websites aren't really as advanced as what we would expect them to be in terms of a medium. If you think about the last 15 years and the quantum leap that we have seen in technology, around the advancements in chipset technology, around what graphics can do, the introduction of the GPU, around the fact that you can have smartphones, and we have Windows 7 launching very soon. It's amazing what we can put onto a device. And yet at the same time, our websites aren't as immersive. And so when we started thinking about developing Internet Explorer 9, we really started thinking about how could we build something that just wasn't going to be an incremental advancement, but actually something that would be a quantum advancement. And so the starting point for us to think about doing that was really starting at the basics and starting at the research point. And so we really started researching 7,000 of the top ComScore sites, advertisers and brands that were really wanting to seek an evolution in terms of, or hopefully a revolution in terms of how they can create immersive, rich applications to reach out and engage with consumers. On the other side, we also have a substantial amounts of data from consumers that opt in and are giving us feedback and expecting us to hear their feedback about the types of things that they expect their browser to be able to do. And out of this, it allows us to start thinking about what some of these core principles are. And it starts off with a number of things. And these are really the four core foundations of how we have built Internet Explorer 9. Ashley has alluded to them, but I want to just articulate them. It starts off with fast. And this is not just fast in terms of sometimes fast. It's really around all the time fast. The second of the principles is we want to create a very clean environment that is very app-like, very immersive, very rich, but all about the content, about the play that we want to construct and we're the theater around that. And I'll showcase the new user interface in a couple of moments. The third thing, and I liken this a little bit to broccoli, because it's not that pretty, but it's really healthy, it's really around trusted. It's about making sure that we're reliable, trusted, and making sure that we really enable consumers to really make wise choices that help to protect them. And the last piece is around interoperability. And we've certainly heard a lot of feedback from web developers and designers over the last number of years around what they expect, and specifically very vocal about what they expect Microsoft's role around leading the advancement around standards. So those are the four core principles. And what I'd like to do right now is I'd like to start with the first of these principles, which is around facts. And Julia, I'd like to introduce Julia. Julia, if you could stand up for a moment. Julia is my Internet Explorer product manager at Microsoft, and she is working over there in the pit. And she is going to help me to do the demo. Everything here is live. Okay, so Julia, if you could start off with the test drive site, please. So, Stephen Sanofsky, as our president of Windows, really has transformed the way that we create our software, and with Windows, really ushering in a new transparent way of making sure that we are opening up to developers very early on in the process, and then opening up betas to consumer enthusiasts as well. So one of the things that we did back in March is we created a test drive site. And within the test drive site, anybody can go there right now. And we've actually had 2.5 million developers download the platform preview. The platform preview and the test drive site, this is not the user interface. But what it is it's a way of being able to provide the underlying platform so that people could understand how we were looking at what speed meant, what performance meant, what it actually meant for us to look at HTML and the advancements of standards. So anybody can go to the site. 2.8 million people have downloaded the platform preview. 25 million people have gone to the test drive site. And so right now I'm going to show 3 quick things that are very, I think, quite interesting that I want to share about the test drive site. So Julia, can you start with the fish tank, please? And could you actually snap using Windows 7 snap feature and also show Chrome. Now, what you'll see is, Julia, if you could show where the frames per second, you need to get to that point first. All right, so if you could show where the frames per second is on our site there. Okay, that's 60 frames per second. Why that matters? That's basically 60 frames per second is HD quality. What you'll see is 20 fish, and that right there is showing Internet Explorer 9. Now, on the left-hand side, you can see Chrome. This is Chrome version 6, which is their current shipping beta. And what this will show you here is they're also at 20 fish, maybe a little bit more lethargic. But let's press both of them. Let's see how many fish we can get in the fish tank. Julia, how about audience participation? How many fish in the fish tank? 100. All right, let's go for 100. Those are good metallic fish. Julia, let's try Chrome with 100. Oh, fish don't look so healthy. You can try this at home, and actually I encourage you to try this at home because there's lots of browsers that are also saying they can do this too. And what exactly is it that we're saying we can do? We've introduced as part of Windows 7 a new technology, for geeks out there, it's Direct2D. And what it basically does is it tells the website, instead of using the CPU, it tells it to use the GPU. Okay, so for non-geeks, what it basically means is